Hello and welcome back to the channel. I kind of wanted to let you all in on a little conversation that my husband had with a local business here. And it's kind of something that's also been mirrored not just with the local businesses but also with like Lowe's, Home Depot, and places like that as well. Now, we go to these places often because there are things that we are constantly needing on the farm and other farm stores as well. And we have been noticing that there are certain things that have been out of stock or very low supply or going out of stock. And, you know, when you ask questions, the answer is, if you ask when are you going to have this in or expecting to have it in again, they're like, we don't know when we will be having this in again. And so there was one place where my husband went, and they actually told him, they said, you better stock up as much as you can on certain things that you believe you're going to need frequently, because right now is not looking good in terms of being able to get even simple things that we're used to having. Simple things that you usually buy with no problem. Now, we already heard the buzz about tissue. We experienced that tissue shortage thing last year. We haven't seen any shortages in our area, but to hear this guy say this, my husband was telling me about it, it was kind of one of those things where you got to start paying attention. I'm just going to borrow that statement that my husband uses all the time. He says, pay attention. Pay attention. Are we paying attention to what's happening in the world today? I'm going to say this too as I'm coming up this hill. I really wasn't going to talk about this right now, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it since I'm here. Go ahead and talk about it while I'm here. I'll probably do a separate video about it. But I wanted to talk about that shed there. And yeah, I'm going to do a separate video about sheds, but I wanted to mention just briefly in this video that my daughter Sophia, that's her shed. She got it for $5 and some change, $549, I think, as a down payment, and then a few $100s a month as a monthly payment. And this was also based on something that a lot of people have been talking about. Lumber, the cost of lumber is so cotton picking high that is unreal. That shed is a few years old, so she was able to get a deal on it. It's a cabin style shed. Like I said, y'all, $540 something down, and just a few $100s, a couple $100 a month as a payment. Things are getting rough. And so if you can take advantage of deals, and if you can stock up on things that you know you're going to need, of course, water supplies and seeds and things like that are a given. But any other thing that you know that you're going to need, beyond just food and water, you better stock up as much as you can, because things are definitely getting rough. Of course, when we say this, we do realize that there are some people out here who are not feeling that roughness that everybody else keeps talking about. We heard one fellow, he says, yeah, despite the prices going up on lumber, he says people are still building like crazy. Well, that's a certain demographic of people, right? But not everyone else is able to keep building like crazy. Some people have to think about what they do, right? Some people have to search out deals. Some people have to pinch every penny, you see? And that is the situation that a lot of the world is finding itself in, because this pandemic, even though it may have seemed to let up a bit, it did leave a lasting mark on society and on people's pockets, their lives, you see. And those of us who have been talking about preparation for years, I mean years and years and years, of course, talking about preparations and making preparations are two different things. We move in the direction of preparation all the time, and we encourage others to do that as well. And so this is why we're always talking about getting stuff at a deal. Facebook Marketplace, you don't always have to buy stuff new, buy things used. And the way I've always been, not just in recent years, but even as a child, as a kid, should I say, who was able to get little small summer jobs and things of that nature, I've always looked for deals. Anywhere that you can save money, go for it, because that stretches your ability to do things or buy things or own things. So I don't mind buying things used. Some people got to have everything brand new. I don't care about that. As long as what I'm buying used is usable, then I'm good. I'm good with that. But again, I just wanted to kind of cue in on some things that are happening right now in the economy. And many of you already know. Of course, we still have sleepers that are in la-la land who just don't believe a word that we're saying. They're thinking the bounce back is going to happen soon. And some of us just don't see that. We don't see it in the foreseeable future that there's going to be any type of bounce back. And so we are making the necessary preparations that we need to. But to hear these fellas and various individuals that we come across in our journeys and our travels and our day-to-day business interactions or whatever, to hear folks saying you better stock up, especially businesses, because they know. They are the ones who order these things and have to keep stock on it. And when they say to you that they don't know when certain things will be back in stock, pay attention. Pay attention to that. I just had a little one sneak up on me, okay? I'm going to have to let her know she can't do that. You can't scare mommy like that, because I'm out here over here by myself. Then all of a sudden I hear and see movement behind me. So I'm glad she didn't get me too bad. But I surely wasn't expecting no little person to come walking up behind me. So that's a lesson to be learned in that little person. You can't do that, all right? You can't scare mommy like that. But anyway, we really, really got to pay attention to what's going on in the world, okay? And get out of La La Land. It's time to move out from that place, okay? La La Land should no longer exist in your world. Take life for what it is. See it for what it is. Things have gotten rough, and they're getting rough. The crap has already hit the fan. And I know some people don't feel it as rough as others. I totally get that. But whatever you can do to fortify it, go for the gusto on that, because who knows what the next 6 months will look like? Who knows what the next year will look like? Okay? Who knows what the next 10 years will look like? We live each day thanking the Most High for that day. We live each day thanking Him for that day, because every day is the day that He hath made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in the day. We're grateful for life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothes, and we don't take anything for granted. So I'm just giving you this word of encouragement, because as many keep saying that the crap has already hit the fan or is hitting the fan, and it's time to wake up and snap out of this little fantasy world. For some people, things may appear to have gone back to normal, but for others, they don't know from one day to the next how they're going to survive. That's just the reality that a lot of people are faced with. And so, hey, this is my word of encouragement for today. Wake up, okay? Pay attention, fortify. These are the things we must do with our own lives, individually and as families. We've got to fortify. We've got to pay attention to the handwriting on the wall, okay? Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I'm done with this video. As always, I'm always interested in knowing what your thoughts are on the subject at hand. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share and like this video. And with that, I'm out.